The Little Mermaid, a film that had made a lot of controversy. I actually don't want to watch this film at first, but then regarding that this is a film that had made my childhood, as well as the controversy surrounding it make it more sensational, I thought I'd give it a go, and it's actually a pretty decent film. This is not like the Lion King remake where they just rip up shot by shot and make it into live action. No. Instead, the filmmaker adds some story that doesn't exist in the animated film. And it actually works, especially for the characterization. I do feel that the scene edition make Prince Eric more as a character than just some MacGuffin for Ariel. Prince Eric himself has like some conflict inside him, and I do feel him more as a character with flaws rather than just a Prince Charming that has everything to offer. And then there's also some additional character in the film which works very, very well, and it felt like just like an improvement than the animated film. But the most important thing is that it still mostly retained the charm of the Disney film in the past. Why mostly I will talk about it more later, but it's all thanks to Rob Marshall's direction, which I think that Disney loved to hire this man a lot in making those live action adaptations. You can see his filmography Into the Woods, Mary Poppins Returns, and then Christopher Robin. Yeah, Christopher Robin especially. I really love Christopher Robin and what he did into the film. It really make my heart pounded to see the relationship between Christopher Robin and Pooh. And also why it works so well, I think it's because of the performance of the cast and the chemistry of it. I really feel them, and it makes the character alive. It's not without flaws as well. I mean, like, mostly under the sea sequence, yes, pun intended, the editing, the visuals, it just felt so wrong. I still think that the editing feels choppy when it's all under the sea. And also the visual just felt dark, and we don't really feel that charm that Disney given us in the animated film. And I also have some mixed feeling with the CGI, because when you make Sebastian and also Flounder as a live action, you can't really see their expression. It won't be as expressive like in the animated film. Well, you get used to it, but you will lose the charm of it. But again, this is far better than most Disney live action remakes, which is talking about something. And the reason it really works for me is partially the direction and the character played by this performer, Hailey Bailey itself, which I want to address about this controversy. Yeah, I don't think I really need to explain this in detail. When it was announced, it received backlash due to the casting choice. And, at first I really didn't really care about it, but I do understand from the point of view of the audience who criticized this backlash. The public argued that the description given in Hans Christian Andersen's short story didn't match with the new casting. And also, if we're talking about the hardcore fans who saw The Little Mermaid when they were a kid, maybe it will feel very weird to see something we look dearly as a kid and turn out to be different. At that point, we could only just judge the book by its cover. Like, we haven't been able to see the complete product, and we could only speculate what's on screen. And I have to say that is a fair kind of thought. And then there's another factor that seems to be overlooked, is how Disney these days love to integrate politics into their film. Like, certain example, you can see brief shot of Toy Story 4 of an LGBT couple making Korg in Thor Love and Thunder as homosexual, or representing a lot of other ethnicities through their animation. Of course, some of this feels great because it feels like some of this culture being represented. But then some of them, like the Korg one, it just felt too forced. It's just like a propaganda, knowing that it will be watched by a lot of people. I think that play an important role and impact as well for The Little Mermaid. At the very least, that's what my surroundings thought. Disney cast Halle Bailey not because of talent, but just for the promotion of diversity. Not to mention that Disney started to change the original lyric in the film, setting for empowerment. Yeah, you can understand why fans become upset with this, right? It feels like putting politics ahead than the appreciation of the artwork. Few days ago, the director Rob Marshall slams the public by commenting about the casting, and I feel like if he had talked about this before, then there wouldn't be an issue this big. Well, Disney did actually state from free form. But again, it was a branch of Disney company that even said about how charismatic Halle Berry is. It doesn't feel that genuine for me. You can see from the opening itself on how they just address the race than about the actress itself. But then what make me feel that this is kind of going aboard is that social media users start to cross the line of criticizing and bullying with lots of racist comments that I don't really want to post here on screen. It's more like attacking her because of her skin rather than something related to her performance. Well, of course, this isn't the first time in history where a casting announcement was met with criticisms. Daniel Craig got backlash because the height doesn't match with James Bond description. And then we got Heath Ledger casting that was labeled to be the worst casting announcement in history. But now, not only media outlets criticize the announcement, users on social media could go to their account, put on some nasty comments in it, and just leave. And I don't even know what the fuck is their goal. It just tries to create a sensation without making some clear point of the argument. Fortunately, Halle Berry proved that it was wrong. I myself personally found her to be the right casting choice when she first started singing. And maybe, just maybe, if the whole ocean sequence was shot and edited properly, you'll definitely feel the emotion more from her performance. So I guess that we really do need to apologize to Bailey. She gave a great performance. I do think that the biggest contributor to making this film work is Bailey itself. If you don't agree, then yeah, it is fine, but we still need to reflect on our actions about the whole thing that we've done to her. It's not something that she deserves, you know. It is not a thing that actually anybody deserves in the future. Instead, I think we should perhaps blame some of this to the big corporation trying to set moral value about diversity and inclusiveness by not knowing how to put it correctly. We don't need any more statement about the kind of diversity from their mouth or from their social media posts. You know, just let the film speak through itself. I think it's enough. You see who's the victim here. It's not them. We can't criticize them because they won't really listen, and then instead we just start to attack to the other individuals. And you know, this kind of branding is quite wrong for me, I guess. Anyway, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Please do subscribe if you like this content, and yeah, consider this as a bonus because the real discussion will be next week, where we'll be talking about one of our favorite action films of all time. That's it all. Hope you have a great day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.